Yes. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another interview with Jim Greendyk. So, Jim, again, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. And also, wow, how fun it was to watch you be in, like, not be in, but like show us Run for a Million in Vegas. That was
Well,
so
I
amazing.
love being back here. It's great to be back chatting with you guys. I love doing this. It was very fun again, and I hope that you got I hope that you got a look at what it is in the back. You can see the stalls underneath and where everyone is and what we do, and how it's working. I hope that you could see that at least relatively well. Actually, Zarena did a lot of the video. So my daughter actually had my phone for a lot of it. I think you could tell I was in some of it and I
Yeah.
wasn't actually shooting all of it. So that was my daughter Zarena that did a lot of that. So I think it was fun. I enjoyed doing it. It was fun to know that we could give you guys a look from the back, like this is how it goes at these big shows. It's fun.
Yeah, it was so cool because that's not something you normally see, like especially in like the very big arenas, unless you're competing yourself. And I don't compete, I don't have my own horse, but it was so amazing to kind of get a look at how everything is done and like the run up before the arena
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything. It was so cool. So, did you have any favorite horses that you were cheering on, except your daughter, of course?
Yeah, I mean, I want my customers to do well for sure. But there were a couple we were actually chuckling because Josie and Gautier was warming one up. I guess that was Wednesday, and I said to my customer, I said, if we sell yours, we have to buy that one over there. I really like that one. And then he went out and marked a 219 or something in the non-pro. So yeah, I have a good eye. I said, I know why I like that horse. He went and marked the 219 in the non-pro, and I think was maybe third or fourth or something out of, 85 runs or something. So that was really cool. My daughter Zarena has a very good friend, Maggie Robinson, and she was also showing there in the non-pro. So we cheered for her. And as far as that goes, I want everyone to do well. So we kind of cheer. I have so many friends in the reining. It's like a big family, so we cheered for a lot of people that we just dream about them being, successful. So and then in the open, oh man, I don't know. I always love it when Casey's horses do really well. I mean,
Mm,
I can't wait for tomorrow. He's showing downright amazing there, and I think that's the only thing that horse hasn't won now. I mean, he's the only horse in history to cross $1 million in earnings in the pen himself. So
really?
yeah, so it'd be very, very interesting to see. Yeah, he just won the American Performance Horseman back in July, and that put him as a sire. That put his personal lifetime earnings, the horse's personal lifetime earnings, over $1 million. He's the only horse in the history of the National Reining Horse Association to ever do that.
Wow, that's amazing. Oh, I
Yeah.
would like to ride that horse.
I don't know if I would like to. He looks amazing, but I think it would scare me.
Oh,
I
really?
think, that's it's like when you watch a race car and you think, wow, that looks fun, but I don't know if I want to drive it. I think it goes too fast. He looks really cool to ride. I mean, I think you saw so many of the videos of him running and stopping, and that was Casey and downright amazing. And,
Yeah.
for sure, that's a horse that I'm cheering for every day.
Mm, yeah. I'm actually very curious because I'm not very familiar with the point system.
Mm.
So, what is considered like high points and low points and like middle range and stuff?
Well, that's a great question. The scoring system starts at 70, so it's a little bit like par in golf. If we say that, like if you go to the golf course and you go golfing, par is like you should be able to complete 18 holes in this many shots.
Hmm.
Whatever that is, maybe it's 72 or 75 or 68 or yeah, anyway, the golf course has like a recommended this is how you should be able to do the golf course in this many strokes. And reining is the same in the sense that you start at 70. 70 is your average. So when you walk to the middle and you begin your pattern, you start at 70 points. And
Okay.
then each maneuver, so spins, right circles, left circles, stop, roll back, stop, back up, all of those different maneuvers now are judged on a sliding scale from -1.5 being extremely poor. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
-1 is very poor. -0.5 is poor. 0 is average.
Mm-hmm.
And then +0.5 is good. Very good is +1. Extremely good is +1.5. And that's it. That's all they have to work with is
Okay.
from -1.5 to +1.5. And so you really, as you do the maneuvers, you, well, you know what? You know what we could do? Oh, maybe I don't want to hijack your Zoom. What we could do is I could pull up the live feed and we could watch one, but maybe we have to do that when we have more time. Because we have, well, unless you want to do it.
Yeah, let's do it. And while
Oh,
you put that up, I just want to tell everyone that if they have any questions, they can write it down or you can put your hand up and I will give you the time to speak and you can ask Jim your questions yourself.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So let's go here. Oh, here, let's actually get the actual website. Here we are. I haven't been to it on the I haven't been to it here on the actual, there it is. So we can click here for free live events, and now we can actually watch. We'll just watch through one just because.
Yes.
Oh, and of course they're going to be on drag. Let's see if I can
And
back it up.
you can comment as much as you
Here,
want and just
here we
tell
go.
us
So
everything.
does all of that stuff. Here goes Cade, and I'm going to turn off the commentary. Here goes, that's not Cade. That's actually Cole Price. I think this is Cole Price, and Scotty doesn't know. That would be my guess. Maybe not. Scott, looks like that one went already. Anyway, so he's run in. Here, let me move this and back this up. He's run
Can
in.
you do a full screen?
Yeah, totally.
Thank you.
There we go. Does that work? I
Yeah.
just have to move the bars around. So it says Cade McCutcheon, but this is certainly not Cade McCutcheon. This is certainly Cole Price. Um, and I believe this is the horse name Scotty doesn't know. I just don't think that this is what's up there. I know it's not Varsity Blue because I know that horse. Anyway, so here you saw us here. You
Mm-hmm.
saw some of this. This is them running in. Here he goes. He's running. So the run in and the stop right there and the backup is one maneuver. So he's come in with a 70. When he came through the gate, his score was 70, and they're probably going to score him a 1 or a 1.5 because I would say that was very good or extremely good. He ran
Mm.
in, he hit the ground, and he just held it all the way to the end, and he backed straight up to here, and he hasn't asked any questions. He said, "Okay, what are we doing?" Now we started this turn 2,
Woo.
3, 4, right on the money, very smooth, very, very good. So that's a 1. Okay, you see what I'm saying? So now I'm watching through this every time, and I can watch. He's going to push that left foot off. He picks up his left hand a little bit there. He hardly neck reins that horse there at 2, 3, 4 1/4. Again, he's right on the money. He's square as could be. You almost can't see his back legs behind his front legs because that horse is that square. And so
Mm.
I'm going to give him, a half to a 1 there. So I'm going to say he's leaving the middle with a score of 73. Okay. Now he's got to do fast circles and slow circles. But again, this horse is between the bridle reins. You never see this horse say anything about, I don't want to steer. This horse is steering extremely well through the middle. His hand is pretty well on his mane. And that horse is just saying, sure, tell me where to go. So we're watching the willfully guided circles. They're
Yeah.
fast, they're correct, they're very good. He's come in the middle, he's slowed down. I would say so far he's at a 1 here as well. He's very good here. I would say these circles, right? That horse slowed down. He never came out of the bridle. He didn't give you any resistance. He changed leads perfectly into the small slow on the other side. So far, everything is looking good to very good. I would
Mm,
say he's at a 74. Now he's going to cruise again. So we're going to watch this set of circles. It's just about as good on this side. Yeah, so I'm going to take a little away because you see him have to steer extra through the middle. You see
mm,
him pick his hand up and steer more than he did the other way. So I'm going
yeah.
to say these are half circles because these are the best horses in the world. So we have to make some sort of a distinction between one and the other, and they're all going to do this very well. So I'm going to say that those left circles are a half. So we have them at 74 and a half right now.
Okay.
I have him at 74 and a half. I don't know what the judges are going to do, but that's just me. Now this horse picks up speed smooth, drive, go, go, go. One motion to the ground, very clean, very nice, rolls back right out of there. Now he elevated in that rollback a little bit. I'm going to give him a half there. So we're at 75 because I'm going to give him, that was good. It was good. At his level, it wasn't very good, but I would say that was good. There's no problem there.
Hmm.
So we're at 75. I like this. He has to steer a little bit, but again, this horse doesn't say anything. He goes right down there, does his job. Let's see if he comes out of here better. I like that rollback better. Do you see the difference between that rollback and the one on the other side? On
Yeah,
the
the
other,
other one was higher up in
yeah,
the
he came up
barn.
and he steered and he ended up about 10 feet over. So let's say right now we're at 76 because I'll give him a one for that one.
Mm.
Again, I don't know what the judges did, but I'm just going to say this is my gut feeling.
Let's see
This is
if you go into the middle of the judges' scores.
Yeah, I'm curious. That one I would say was a half. He kind of ran, he kind of pushed him, he kind of sent him. So I would say we're at what, 76 and a half?
Yeah.
Is that where we're at? Okay. Well, let's go and see what Scotty doesn't know scored. So there's Scotty doesn't know. That's the number one horse there. 76, 77, 75, 75 and a half, 77 and a half. What did I say? 76 and a half?
Yeah.
So they're going to throw out the 75. They're going to take 75 and a half, 76, 77. I was 76 and a half. I was maybe a half point on the high side, but pretty
Can
well in the
you
middle.
Yeah, can you explain what you did before we started actually recording?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You were
So,
telling
so
about the
they,
five judges.
yeah. So you can see here, judge one. And so you can look here, judge one, two, three, four, five.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you can see here, judge one, two, three, four, five. And so to keep the score really, really honest and super fair, at least as fair as a judged event. I mean, it's still judging, you're still
Mm,
asking some guy to sit there in the chair and give you an honest opinion about what he thinks, and he can think one thing and someone else can think something else. But to keep it really fair, they throw out the high and the low. So in this case, they're going to throw out Ed Bricker's score. So he's 75. He didn't like it nearly as much as ever. And again, guys, this is like, it's this small. I mean, half a point here and there. You can say that's a one. I can say it's a half. And we could be this close between one and a half. Like it's not that far apart. To be a half point this way or that way is very, very normal. So
mm,
they're going to throw out 75 and they're going to throw out 77 and a half because that's the high and the low score, or low and high, the way that I said it. And so that keeps it fairly even for everyone. If you're the highest judge, you get kicked out. And if you're the lowest judge, you get kicked out. And then they add those three middle scores. So 75 and a half, 76, 77. And that's how you get your 228 and a half. Does that make
yeah.
sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Is anyone wanting to come with a question to Jim? We have an expert here and it's yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's really an expert, but I do love it. That's what I do.
Well, I do believe you're more than an expert than me. So
Okay, fair. Yeah, let's put it
if the
down.
bar is down here, you're up there. Um,
I've done it long enough to certainly have, yeah, I've done it long enough to certainly have figured out what doesn't work,
yeah.
you know. And obviously I know how the scoring goes, for sure.
And
So,
yeah. So we talked a little bit about the points when it comes to reining, like with the turns and everything. You talked a little bit about that before, and I know Hilde was very eager to hear some more about it. You know, when you were explaining the how many turns they're taking, and even if it's one quarter too much, that it maybe disqualified them.
Yeah, so when you're spinning, you have to do four spins, or in the case of that pattern we watched, it's four and a half. Or sorry, four and a quarter. The second set of spins to the left, you do four and a quarter so that you are looking at the judges before you begin your circles.
Hmm.
But we were talking earlier before we started to record about how we had some bad luck for my customers, etc., at the horse show, which we did. And one of the things, bad luck, was falling out of lead and dragging the lead and having a lot of lead issues. The other bad luck was five spins. Well, it calls for four spin, and so five spins is not willfully guided or dictated to completely, and that's what reining is, willfully guided and dictated to completely with little or no apparent resistance. That is the phrase. And so if it says do four spins and instead you do five, the judge has to assume that either you didn't guide the horse well or you tried to guide the horse and he didn't listen
Yeah.
because you didn't do the pattern. And so that's why the disqualifications come so quickly. So if you start your spins and you do four and you stop here, but let's say you overspin, we're going to the left.
Hmm.
Okay. Let's say you overspin by an eighth, so about the width of the horse's shoulders. Let's say about this much. Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to overspin an eighth. That's a minus half penalty. So if you think about like a good spin being plus half, you
Yeah.
can turn very fast, but that little bit of like, oops, it's not perfect, already you get a half taken away again as a penalty. Then if you turn a whole quarter too much, it's a minus one penalty, which means you almost can't come back from that because like once you have a minus one penalty, it probably also wasn't a great spin because you turned fast and you tried to stop and he went all the way over here and was looking here. So they're going to take away from your maneuver score as well. So it probably is a minus half spin now because it was not good or even average because obviously at the end of it, we was turning looking over here.
Mm.
Plus it's a one penalty. So you're 1.5 points down already because you tried to go too fast in your spin. You should have gone just quiet and got a zero.
Yeah.
And zero is in the middle, right? Because we have minus half, or sorry, minus 1.5, minus one, minus half. Then we have plus half, plus one, plus 1.5.
Yeah.
And so that is your scoring range from 70. And after that, all of these penalties rack up. So if you go more than a quarter of a turn overspin, Andrea did this with um, Magnum's Custom Dream 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago at the American Performance Horseman. Uh, very, very good horse. He's showing it tomorrow in the Run for a Million finals. And he was in Texas and showed him at the big American Performance Horseman deal there on TV. And he's turned around and when he said, whoa, the horse went like this, and he turned one whole half of a circle and was looking the wrong way in the arena backwards. And that is automatically zero. So when you get a pattern scores zero, then there's a zero with a line through it, and after that, you're disqualified. Like you went too far off the pattern for it to just be a penalty. This is what they call a deviation from the pattern or a total or temporary lack or loss of control. So basically, you're saying at some point you lost control of your horse and it went bad enough that we just say that you can't come back from 2 points down anyway, probably. So just
Yeah, you
move
just
on.
have to stop and just walk out of the arena, or
Yeah, at that level, Andrea just stopped. He went, that's terrible. Off you go, Oh well, what
yeah.
are we gonna do? He just walked out because at that level, why do you ride the horse wide open to try to like you zeroed? You're not learning, you're not gaining anything by keep going. Like
Mm.
save the horse for another day. It was just a mistake. Oh
Yeah.
well. Jason Van Lanningham, he brought gonna be big time, and he the year before at the American Performance Horseman, he spun three times. So that's also a zero because it's not four. He spun three times And then they talked about it in the interviews and everything before coming up to the show 2 weeks ago.
Mm.
And then he spun 3 times again with the same horse 2 years in a row. So he looked very defeated. He kind of went
Yeah.
like, and
Oh,
he
that's so
he
bad.
just walked out and tomorrow's another day. So
Yeah.
yeah, it happens very easily to the best guys. If you zero, like my customer, Michaela zeroed in the rookie two, she turned five. I always say keep showing because
Mm.
if you zero as a beginner or as a non-pro rider, hey, finish your pattern, go and show the horse, get around the pen. The judges are not going to say, hey, get out, you have to leave. And they'll let you continue. You paid for your time in the arena, so everyone's good.
Yeah.
Unless you start wasting time and go around and round and round, and then they'll say, thank you. I've seen that before. People are like, well, now I'm here. I'm going to work on some things. And they're like, this is not schooling now. Like, just
Yeah.
thank you. We have 50 more people to ride today. So, go home.
Yeah. That's great. We actually have some questions.
Sure.
Do you know if the NRHA Norway follows the same point ranking as in the US? Like with the five judges and
Excuse me. I would say if it's an NRHA show, if it's sanctioned by the NRHA, they have to use the same point system. Yes.
hmm,
And the amount of judges has everything to do with the added money. So if you just have a small show, you just have one judge, you can mark 72, 73, 65, whatever.
mm,
Sometimes for the bigger classes at a local show, they'll have two judges. So then you see a 140 or a 145 or, a 136. And then you'll have three judges sometimes, but then most of the time, if you go from one to two, then after that, if there's enough money added, you go to um, five judges. Sorry.
yeah. Okay. Well, I actually got an answer from one of our viewers that they do have the same point ranking as in the US and they use three judges, she
Okay.
thinks. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It really depends on how much money. NRHA has rules about that. If you have a lot of money involved as prize money, then you have to have the judges like that so it stays more fair.
mm, yeah. And I also actually, when we're talking about the NRHA and also about, having failings or mistakes during
Yeah.
competition and everything, I actually have a question from Teresa, because she just came back from the Nordic Reining Championship, and
Okay.
this year her horse has been great at showing, but at this show, nothing worked. We started struggling with the lead changes, and it destroyed all of my classes. I never know. I
I'm
never
not
know.
laughing at you. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you because man, I know this happens.
Yeah, I never know which horse I have that day. She's usually on the lazy side, but some days she's too fresh and sometimes too lazy. She is the first horse I've ever had that was more lazy in the show pen than the warm-up. She's very
Okay.
heavy on the legs, and I don't really have the strength to get her going. What would you suggest on the show days for warm-up or figuring out which horse I have? And do you have some exercises to prepare for bigger shows when I don't have the facilities? We have a 66 by 130 feet arena, and this horse has been to all of the big shows in Europe, so she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, man, that's a half an hour just by that question.
Yeah.
The best thing, and we've said this the last time, the best thing is to go to reigningmasterclass.com and get my videos because there's so much there that can really help you work through a horse that's too smart or knows to change leads out of the small slow or doesn't change leads. The hourglass exercise will really make that horse come off of your leg and get them better to your leg. Those are things that we use in all of my clinics and everything here.
Mm,
And I've coached people all over the world in exactly that situation where, with my platinum program, you can have all the videos and we do Zoom lessons where you can upload your video and I will watch it. I'll talk with you during the lesson and I'll mark on there how you can improve things or make it better and give you homework. So that's the best way to do any of that sort of thing, like I can really help you. As far as exercises or things that you can do to have the same horse, I think most of the time we don't train specific enough. So, like if that's what goes on at the horse show, then you really have to think at home, what are you doing and why are you doing it to make sure that everything you do at home really helps you when you get to the horse show. And I find in many places in the world that people don't have a very good plan for what they're doing at home to translate to the horse show. And it's hard to explain, and it's not any comment on you being good or bad or not understanding, but I just find that so many people get focused on maybe the wrong thing, and then they don't really know where the basic problem is underneath. And most of the time it's very small. It's a very small
Mm.
problem. And the horse one or two things, and you're going to see that those one or two things come up in every single maneuver. And it's one fix, and then everything starts to get better. And I find
Can
that,
you come with an example for like this small things that can help?
well, I find that people don't steer as well as they think.
Okay.
So you get to circling and the horse is lazy, and then you try to do your small circle and it doesn't steer, and then you're kicking and you try to make him go faster. And then your lead change is no good because the horse doesn't steer. So when you
Mm.
come in the middle to go the other way, it goes like this, or it feels like they steer good at home because you're very relaxed and everything's fine. And if it doesn't steer good this time, then it can steer good the next time. It's okay.
Mm.
And when you go to the horse show, it's not okay. You
Yeah.
find, oh, I have to steer right now, and I don't have 3 times to practice it. And so I find that that's the one thing that comes back many times is that people don't neck rein. Their horses don't steer as well as they think they should steer. And then the other thing I find a lot of times, and everyone's a little different, but I find that people with a lazy horse ride with too much leg. So you're using your legs all the time to ride around. And then when you come in the middle and you put your leg on for a lead change, the horse can't hear the cue for lead change from your spur or from your leg over top of all the noise that you're riding him on the circle. Kick, kick, so much kicking, kicking,
Mm.
kicking, change leads. Oh, shoot, I didn't hear that coming because it was so loud already. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That
And so
makes a
little
lot of
things like
sense.
that,
Yeah.
that if you're riding too much with your legs all day, it's like me talking too much and nobody can say anything, after a while, don't listen anymore.
Oh yeah. Well, I do hope that helped you, Teresa.
Yeah, and I can put that link in the chat a minute for everyone if you want to go see those videos. And you guys, you can do that later. The There it is. It's in the
Yeah,
chat.
great.
The link with that should work. The link with that tag, that RM program on the end, that is the Platinum program, which gives you all of the videos. It's a lifetime membership. You never have to pay again. It gives you all of the videos, plus it gives you private coaching. And right now I'm doing 6 Zoom lessons for the price of 3. So I have a deal going on for that.
Oh, cool.
So, which is like 6 months of coaching. Like, you don't need coaching every week. I mean, I'll give you
Yeah.
lots to work on, and maybe 2 weeks or maybe 1 month, you come back with a bunch of new videos and see if it's better. And in the meantime, there's a Facebook Messenger group. You can put small videos there on the group chat all the
Yeah.
time. And
I'm in that group. That's an awesome group.
yeah, it's sometimes quiet for a while, and then someone posts something, and I'm always coming back to it as quick as I can.
Yeah, that's awesome. Actually, we have one more question.
Sure.
Is it only quarter horses who start in reining in the US, or is it open for other horse races as well?
It's certainly open for others. You can bring anything to the horse show, but excuse me, I would say it's gambling. Okay.
Mm.
It really is. And so if you're going to gamble with your horse and your money and your time and your efforts and everything, then you want to buy the horse that does this the easiest because it's very hard to do, even with a good horse. And so because there's so much pressure and the level is so high in the US for reining,
Mm.
if you go with a horse that's not a quarter horse and you think that you're going to be competitive, probably not. because the breeding now is so specific. The horses come
Yeah.
as young horses, like already half trained. Like you start to do things and they just can turn easy and they just stop naturally. And when you train on that for 18 months to get ready for a big horse show, or when you train on your Morgan horse or your Haflinger or your Arabian, you pick a different breed, they don't get it the same. They don't do it the
Mm.
same. So even if you do all the same training, you're always going to struggle. But if you have a horse and you want to get into reining and you want to try it, you can get a competition license from NRHA and you can enter any horse at a reining show. It's no problem.
Okay, nice. Can I ask
Yeah.
you what is the strangest breed you've seen on the horse shows? Like, strangest is like, oh, this I did not expect.
Well, I have a friend who has a very cool mule.
A
Her name is
mule.
her name is Jessica Rabbit, and it has this big ears. And it can run and slide and change leads. She does do reining with in Canada, not down here, but in
Yeah.
Canada. But I've ridden it, and it can really stop and spin and circle and change leads. It's very cool. It's hilarious, but it's like a little mule with big ears like this. Like when you run down, the ears go oh, 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 like this. Like it's very funny. So that's my favorite because she's like very cool. And she
Oh,
actually can win some ratings, like local
really?
small ratings that that mule is very talented. But I've seen Tennessee Walkers. I mean, I've seen sometimes the Spanish breeds like the Lusitano or something like that. Those horses can. There is a South American breed called Criollo, which is in Brazil, and they're kind of quarter horse anyway, though. And I've seen them sometimes come to the U.S. and show, and they really have a lot of mane, like it's very thick and it's hanging this much, and the tail is this big around. Like you really see, like they really have a hair gene,
Wow.
but most of the time it's all quarter horses for sure.
Yeah. I would really like to see Jessica Rabbit compete one day.
Yes, yeah, well, I could find some video somewhere.
Oh, yes. Well, we
I
don't
can
have
send it to
time
you.
right now, but you should definitely
Yeah,
send it to me.
yeah, I can send you some videos sometime. Actually, I think there's a video somewhere of me running and stopping her. Um, actually from this year because I went and did a clinic in Alberta, Canada, and I rode her there during the clinic. My friend was there in the clinic, and so I did ride her. I think in May. So there's probably some video somewhere of me running and sliding with that mule. But yeah, it's pretty funny. It's she does the extreme cowboy racing too. So all of those crazy obstacles and everything that the EXCA. So they do that as well. That it's a fun animal. She's pretty neat.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Jim. I know you have another
Yeah.
meeting to get to.
Yes, I do have to run.
Yes. So thank you so much. It was so cool seeing you uh take down the video of that horse running and giving it points and everything. That was so cool.
Yeah,
Hope we can have you back one day.
I love it. Anytime, if we're doing something fun again, here in the yard or anytime, yeah, it's awesome. You guys are great. Hopefully it keeps to growing and maybe one day I come in the yard by you.
Yeah, hope so. Really hope so.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. And if you post this and you get lots of comments or questions there, I'm happy to answer more, or do more, let me know if the recording gets a lot of questions later. I'm happy to go and find it too sometimes.
Fantastic. Keep that in mind and we'll send you the questions.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, yeah, you bet, guys. Talk to you later.